Hello, wine lovers! I'm Yaroslava, sommelier and wine educator, your guide on this journey through the world of wines, spirits and cocktails. With this video, I continue my series on Greek viniculture. In the first episode, I explored the history of Greek winemaking, its modern wine regulations, and the distinct character of Retsina, Greece's most iconic wine. You can find the link in the first comment. Today, we turn our focus to Santorini, the Aegean island renowned for its ancient vineyards and extraordinary viniculture, which dates back thousands of years. Winemaking on Santorini began around 5,000 years ago, much like in other parts of Greece. However, Santorini was far luckier than the rest of the country when it comes to the historical preservation of its viniculture. During the Crusades, Santorini fell under Venetian rule, and the Venetians took control of winemaking, organizing export to Europe, especially to Italy. Santorini's wine, particularly the unique Vinsanta, gained fame across the continent. Under the Ottoman Empire, when much of Greece's viniculture suffered due to Muslim alcohol restriction, Santorini received special permission to continue wine production and trade. The Russian Orthodox Church had declared Vinsanta of Santorini as the official sacramental wine and demanded a steady supply. The Ottoman rulers valued trade relations with Russia and secured Santorini's role in winemaking. Today, Santorini's ancient wine has drawn the attention of renowned winemaking worldwide. Yet, paradoxically, the biggest threat to the island's viniculture is not climate change or disease, it is tourism. Santorini has become a highly popular luxury travel destination, leading to a dramatic rise in land prices. As a result, vineyards land is shrinking, with many estates being replaced by hotels and resorts. The future of Santorini's viniculture now depends on whatever tourists' love for the fine wine can preserve these irreplaceable vineyards before they disappear entirely. Santorini's geography plays a crucial role in its viniculture. The island is essentially a massive volcano, and after the catastrophic eruption in the 16th century BC, which devastated the known civilization and wiped out half of the island, Santorini was left covered in volcanic ash. The volcanic soil is extremely poor in organic matter but rich in minerals. It is highly porous, providing excellent drainage. In addition, it is completely devoid of clay, making it inhospitable to phylloxera, the insect that devastated European vineyards in the 19th century. As a result, Santorini's vineyards never suffered from the phylloxera epidemic and still boast some of the oldest living wines in the world. The climate on Santorini is warm and relatively high humidity, with rainfall is scarce and the little rain that does fall happens only in winter. Fresh water is also extremely limited, with most of it coming from winter rains and fog condensation. Adding to the challenge are the strong, persistent salty winds that dry out the wines. However, these extreme conditions come with a unique benefit. The dry, warm climate allows the grape to accumulate higher sugar level, leading to wines with naturally high alcohol content. At the same time, strong winds slow down our metabolic process, preserving high acidity, which gives Santorini's wine their bright, refreshing character. Given Santorini's harsh environment, growing wines using standard trellis system would be impossible. The strong winds would dry out and destroy the leaves and berries. Instead, local winemakers developed a unique wine training method known as a culiora. Wines are bred to form circular baskets that sit close to the ground. This technique protects the leaves and the grape from the harsh winds. It also allows moisture from the night dew to be absorbed directly by the roots, compensating for the lack of artificial irrigation, which is not used on the island due to the lack of fresh water. As a result, Santorini's vineyards look unlike any other in the world. Instead of neat rows of vines, the landscape is covered in low, coiled, basket-like formations. Due to volcanic soil and extreme dryness, wines on Santorini need a deep and well-developed root system to survive. Over time, however, the above-ground portion of the vine loses productivity. Instead of replanting, winemakers cut the aerial part and allow a new vine to grow from the existing rootstock. The first harvest from berry growing vine happened 2-3 years after cutting. On Santorini, this process occurs about every 75 years. Some vineyards have documented 5 or more consecutive growing cycles, meaning many vines are hundreds of years old, making them the oldest in the world. Santorini's vineyards are not only ancient, but also are barely in order. In earlier times, vineyard owners did not plant an organizing system, so different grape varieties often grow next to each other. As a result, during the harvest, winemakers must inspect each vine individually to determine its variety and ripeness. Because the vines are woven into baskets and sit close to the ground, mechanical harvesting is impossible anyway. Every grape must be handpicked, making the harvest a labor-intensive process. Santorini's grape varieties are as distinctive as its volcanic terroir. The dominant variety of Santorini viniculture is Assyrtика. This ancient white grape originated from Santorini and remains its most widely planted variety, covering 70% of the island's vineyard. While Assyrtика is now cultivated in other parts of Greece and the Aegean Islands, it thrives best on its birthplace. What makes Assyrtика unique? It maintains high acidity even when fully ripe. It accumulates higher sugar level, allowing for the production of both intensely flavored dry wines and sweet dessert wine. Dry Assyrtика wines are full-bodied, with vibrant citrus aromas, striking minerality, and good aging potential. Santorini's vineyards also grow 2 other traditional white varieties, primarily used in blends with Assyrtика. Aidani, indigenous to Santorini, also grown on other Aegean islands. This variety produces medium-bodied wines with a delicate floral aroma. Atiri, more commonly found on Rhodes, with some planting on Santorini. Atiri produces medium-bodied wines with fresh lemon notes. On Santorini, both Aidani and Atiri are primarily used in sweet and dry blends with Assyrtika, adding complexity and softening its intense acidity. Although white wines dominate Santorini's production, about 20% of the island's vineyards are dedicated to the red grape varieties. Once on the brink extension, Novrotragana is now being revived by modern winemakers. This deeply colored red grape variety produces wines with intense tannins and structure, full-bodied profile, making them well structured for old aging. It is used for both dry and sweet wines. Another ancient variety, Mandalaria, is widely cultivated throughout Aegean Islands. On Santorini, it is used mainly for medium-bodied red wines with deep color, sweet wines and blended wines, often complementing Novrotragana. Santorini is renowned for its exceptional white wines, both dry and sweet. The island's volcanic soil and unique climate contribute to the distinct character of these wines. There are 3 main wine types under the pub Santorini designation: Santorini, Necteri, and Vinsanta. Wine labeled Santorini are dry white wines made from at least 75% Assyrtika, with remaining 25% typically composed of Atiri and Aidani. These wines are full-bodied, with high acidity and an intense mineral-driven taste, giving them excellent aging potential. Notable characteristic of Assyrtika is its ability to combine well with oak, so some Santorini wines are fermented in oak barrels, adding layers of complexity and texture. Nectarine is another dried white wine, sharing the same grape composition as Santorini wines, but standing out as one of the richest and most complex white wines of the island. The name Nectari means nocturnal, as traditionally grapes for this wine were harvested at night and immediately crushed and pressed to preserve their fresh, bright flavors. While nighttime harvesting is no longer mandatory, many winemakers maintain this tradition. Nectarine is initially fermented in stainless steel cisterns with the skin left in the fermenting juice during the early stages. After fermentation, the wine is aged in an oak barrel for 3 to 10 months, giving it enhancing aromatic, including exotic fruits and honeysuckle. One of Santorini's most distinctive wines, produced since the ancient times, is the sweet wine Vinsanta. Vinsanta became globally famous in the Middle Ages, when Santorini was under Venetian control. The Venetians exported this wine throughout Europe and its name evolved from Vino di Santa, meaning wines of Santorini. Vin Santa is crafted from the late harvest grapes, which are further sun-dried for 1 or 2 weeks to concentrate their natural sugars. The wine must contain at least 51% Assyrtика, with the remaining part typically consisting of Atiri and Aidani. After fermentation, Vin Santa is aged in oak barrels for a minimum of 1 year, for most winemakers extend this for several years to enhance its depth and complexity. The result is a golden amber wine with intense aromas of dried fruits, raisins, and sweet spices. A similar sounding wine, Vin Santa or Vino Santa, is also made in Italy, primarily in Tuscany. While both wines are sweet and involve grape drying, they differ in several ways. Vin Santa is made from different grape varieties, mainly from Trebbiano Toscana and Malvasia Blanca. During drying methods also differ. In Tuscany, grapes are dried under the roof, while in Santorini they are sun-dried outdoors. The origin of Italian name is also different. It means holy wine. For centuries, Italy widely used the name Vin Santa, identical to Santorini's historic wine, creating marking confusion and overshadowing Santorini's reputation. However, in 2002, the European Union officially ruled in favor of Santorini, prohibiting Italian winemakers from using the Vin Santa name. Despite its small size, Santorini is a home of numerous wineries, each with its own character and appeal. Today I will focus on 2 contrasting wineries, the largest and most touristy, and one that in my opinion stands out as a particularly unique and interesting. Santa Wines is the largest, most well-known, and most visited winery on Santorini. It is featured prominently in all guidebooks, making it must-visit for many tourists. The winery offers up to 18 different wines for tasting, making this one of the most extensive sampling experience on the island. However, in my opinion, Santa Wines is their hype, similar to many large-scale commercial wineries. The experience is impersonal. Instead of guided tasting, visitors are given a tray of glasses and a list of wine, with a little opportunity to discuss the wines with knowledgeable staff. While stunning decor and sheer numbers of samples might attract tourists, the wines themselves fail to impress me. Although I cannot say anything bad about them either. If you are looking for a relaxing tasting with a breathtaking view, Santa Wines delivers. But if you are sick of more engaging, in-depth experience, there are better options on the island. Just 15 minutes walking from Santa Wines, Vineziana Winery offers a completely different experience, one that's more intimate, educational, and rewarding. This small family-run winery is cozy and inviting, with a knowledgeable staff who are always eager to discuss the wines and winemaker techniques. The wine selection is smaller than on Santa Wines, but every wine I tasted here was exceptional. Some of the best Assyrtiko-based Santorini and Nectarine wines I have ever tried came from Venezianas. They also produce interesting rosé and well-crafted red wines. Veneziana is not just about good wine and great view. It also has a fascinating history. Built in 1947, it was the first industrial winery on the modern Santorini. Unlike many wineries that catered only for local needs, Veneziana was designed for export. At the time, Santorini had poor electrical and transportation infrastructure. The vineyard and the winery are located on a steep cliff right above the port, where the wine shipment departed. Look at the winding road leading down to the seaside. Today it is paved and accessible to cars, but back then it was nothing more than a donkey trail. Producing wine on such difficult terrain presented many challenges, especially when it came to transferring wine between large cisterns, a process that would have been exhausting and time-consuming without modern pump. Veneziana family came up with a brilliant solution. The winery was built into a hillside, with each processing stage located on a lower level than the previous one. This multi-level design allowed wine to flow naturally downward by gravity, eliminating the need for manual pumping. Once the wine was ready, it was transported through the pipes directly to the port, where it was stored in the barrels for shipping. At the time, bottling was not done on the island. Today, Veneziana's winery uses modern technique, but the original gravity flow facility remains open for tours, offering visitors a glimpse into the Iceland winemaker past. If you find yourself in Greece, do visit Santorini and do explore its unique wines. However, you don't need to travel to Santorini to enjoy its wine. They are available in many wine shops around the world. Today I have Assyrtiko from Greek Wine Cellar 2023 about Santorini. Let's give it a try. This one for you, this one for me. White flour, lemon zest and herbs. White peach, lemon, honey, spices. Prominent minerality and well balanced acidity. Very nice Assyrtiko. This concludes the story of wines of Santorini. Following videos in the Greek series will be about the viniculture of Crete and the mainland Greece. Stay with me, subscribe to my channel. Feel free to ask questions and don't hesitate to support me. Avoya!